for a fact there are a lot of happy people in this room. Jerusalem. Thank you, and Melania and I are thrilled to welcome you and so many wonderful friends to the White House. We wish you a very happy Hanukkah. And I think this one will go down as especially special. I want to thank Vice President Pence and Karen for joining us this evening. Where are they? Where are they? They're someplace. Come up here, man. Get up here. Come on up. Come on, Karen. Get up here. They can get under those ropes. They're young and strong. Come on up. Great job. As well as Secretary Mnuchin, Secretary Shulkin. I also want to thank our incredible First Lady Melania. She's with you all the way. She has worked so hard to make the White House a truly special place for this joyous season. We've done this so many evenings now, and I think we set a record 2 nights ago. We shook hands for 3 hours and 25 minutes. That's not fun. Even though I love the people, that was not fun. I'm also proud that my beautiful grandchildren, Arabella, Joseph, and Theodore, have joined us tonight, right here, as we celebrate with all of you the sacred traditions that they observe each year at home. This evening we gathered to celebrate the story that is told in Jewish homes across the country and all over the world, a story that began more than 2,000 years ago with a tyrant made practicing the Jewish faith punishable by death. He desecrated the Jewish temple, including the Holy of Holies. But a small band of Jewish patriots rose up, defeated a mighty army, and soon reclaimed their freedom. But the miracle of the Maccabees did not end there. As they prepared to rededicate the temple, they found only enough oil to light the lamp for a single night. Soon, all were stunned to find that for 8 days, the lamp continued to burn brightly, a sign of God's presence in his dwelling place and a symbol of the faith and resilience of the Jewish people. You do have faith and you do have resilience. The miracle of Hanukkah is the miracle of Israel. The descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob have endured unthinkable persecution and oppression. But no force has ever crushed your spirit, and no evil has ever extinguished your faith. And that is why the Jewish people shine as a light to all nations. And right now, I'm thinking about what's going on and the love that's all over Israel and all about Jerusalem. On behalf of all Americans, I also want to say how grateful I am for Jewish congregations throughout our country. You cherish your families, support your communities, and uplift our beloved country. Hanukkah is a time for Jewish families around the world to celebrate the miracles of the past and promises of the future. We are proud to stand with the people of Israel and to renew our enduring bond. This evening, we are blessed to have 2 very special Hanukkah lamps for this celebration. The menorah on my left has been lit every year since the earliest days of our nation. It comes from the first American Jewish congregation whose original members came to this land in the 1650s. That's a long time ago. It's a symbol of the history and home the Jewish people made in the United States. Today we are honored to have with us the congregation's 10th spiritual leader since the American Revolution, Rabbi Soloveitchik. That wasn't bad. You think that's an easy one? It's not. Thank you, Rabbi, very much for being with us. Thank you for being with us. We're also, but he's so happy with yesterday that he doesn't care if I get it exactly. Thank you, Rabbi. We're also deeply honored that Louisa Lawrence Israels is here to share this evening with us and to make a few remarks. Louisa is a Holocaust survivor. The first 3 years of her life were spent in hiding in an attic out of Amsterdam, a row house in Amsterdam. Amazing story, an amazing situation to be in. Her family could not light the candles that we're about to light this evening, but they lit them in their hearts. On my right is a lamp that survived the Tarnow ghetto, a city in southern Poland that ravaged and was ravaged by the Holocaust. It will remain unlit in memory of that darkest hour and in order to preserve this relic so that we never, ever, ever forget, and you will never forget. We thank God that a woman who was born into that nightmare of oppression now lives in this land of the free, and that she, along with everyone here tonight, can light the menorah for all the world to see, and the world is watching. Today, our nation is stronger, and our world is more full of promise because of the Jewish people, the state of Israel, and the faith that burns so brightly in your hearts. May you all have, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. May you all have a truly blessed and happy Hanukkah. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you. And congratulations. Big day, big event, very important. Congratulations to everybody in the room. I'd like to invite Louisa to say a few words. Louisa? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Mr. President, Mrs. Trump, thank you very much for inviting me here to your Hanukkah celebration today. It is an honor for me to be here. My name is Louisa Lawrence Israels, and I'm a survivor of the Holocaust. I'm one of approximately 80 survivors who volunteer at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. Hanukkah is a holiday of freedom. During the first years of my life, we could not celebrate Hanukkah because my family was not free. When I was born, my country, the Netherlands, was occupied by Nazi Germany. Life for Jews and Jewish families became more and more restricted. And when I was 6 months old, we had to go into hiding because deportations of Jews to the death camps in Poland had begun. My parents, 18-month older brother and I, with a friend of my mom, lived in an attic in Amsterdam for almost 3 years. Only my father used to leave when we needed food, medicine, and sometimes he brought back some news. We did not have a radio or newspaper. It was a storage attic on top of a row house with its own walk-up in the middle of Amsterdam. It was about 5 blocks from where Anne Frank was hidden with her family. When you are in hiding, you never go outside, so I never met her. The attic had one small dormer window. We had very little natural light. There was no kitchen or bathroom, just a small toilet with a sink with cold water. After discussing what to take into hiding with us, my parents decided on a camping stove. We needed that for when there was anything to cook, and sometimes we had to just boil water because there was nothing to eat. Some pots and pans and utensils, mattresses for the adults, and a crib for me. My parents never talked about the outside world with us or about their worries, and all our relatives. They did not want us to miss anything or anybody. They kept us busy with a form of homeschooling, and we loved it. We thought that our life was normal. We never talked about religion or celebrated the holidays. That would have been too dangerous. Our prayer books and other Jewish things like Kiddush cup and other things were buried, and my mom had given our menorah, Hanukkah, to a trusted friend to keep for us. We were often hungry and cold, but again, we thought that was normal. We could not have survived without the courageous help of people from the resistance. My loving parents had only one thought: keep their children safe. We were lucky. The first time we celebrated Hanukkah together, I was 4 years old. We received a very special present, an orange. My brother and I had never seen one. Smelling it and holding it in our hands was so special. I did not even want to eat it. I was afraid that I would not have a present anymore. At Hanukkah time, I make sure we always have a bowl of oranges on the table to remember our freedom. After my husband retired from the army, we moved to the DC area. I wanted to volunteer at a newly opened Holocaust museum, but I'd had to tell my parents first. My parents never talked about our years of occupation, and my dad surprised me. He said, if we do not speak now, people will not believe that it really happened. One day, the museum will speak for us, but I will speak for as long as I can. Hatred caused 6 million Jews to be murdered, of which 1.5 million were innocent children. They never had a chance, and people let this happen by not standing up to hatred. They were indifferent. We cannot let that happen again. Hatred and prejudice should not have a place in the world. We all have to work. We all have to work for a future where all children will have a chance to smell an orange. I wish everybody a healthy and happy holiday. Thank you.
Before we commence with the lighting, I just want to thank, on behalf of us all, to thank you, Mr. President, and the First Lady, for the very gracious hospitality that you are showing us this evening, and for all that this evening represents. Hanukkah is, on the one hand, a Jewish story of a miracle that occurred over 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, in what the President called yesterday in his remarkable address, the capital that the Jewish people established in ancient times. But the Chanukiah, the menorah, also embodies an American idea. If you go to Jerusalem today, you will see that, in contrast to most Jewish communities around the world that kindle the lights inside their homes, there they do it as it was done originally, right outside the door of their homes. And what that represents is both a Jewish idea but also an American idea, that when people of faith leave their homes and enter the world, enter the public square, they take their beliefs and their religious identity with them. They don't check their beliefs at the door when they enter the world. And what this evening represents is that as American Jews, we can not only bring our beliefs with us out into society and out into the world, but we can bring it out of our homes and into your home, into the home of the President of the United States, the home of the American people. And so we thank you, Mr. President, and you, Mrs. Trump, for all that this evening embodies to all of us. Because it is not yet Hanukkah, the usual blessings over the menorah, over the Hanukkah lamp, will not be said. But there are two blessings that we can pronounce before the President's grandchildren actually light this beautiful Hanukkah lamp that represents so much of Jewish history and American Jewish history. The first blessing is the blessing that, according to Jewish tradition, is recited when we are in the presence of a head of state. And according to the rabbis, we are instructed to recite this blessing in order to remind us of the God from whom all power and distinction derives, just as the American founders strove to remind us that as Americans, it is from God that our rights derive, not from the state, but from God. And so, in the presence of the President, we recite the blessing first in English and then in Hebrew. Blessed art thou, Lord our God, King of the universe, who bestows power and distinction upon flesh and blood. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan mikvodo lebasar vadam. The second blessing that we recite is the one said according to Jewish tradition when we have received joyous tidings. It's recited by all Jews on the first night of Hanukkah, and we can say it now because of the joyous tidings that we have just received. Jerusalem, of course, lies at the very heart and soul of every Jew and of Judaism itself. We pray 3 times a day for the rebuilding of Jerusalem. And the light of Hanukkah represents not only the undying light of Judaism, but the light of Jerusalem itself that burns in every Jewish soul. And so, now that we have received very joyous tidings, because for the first time since the founding of the State of Israel, an American president has courageously declared what we have always proclaimed, which is that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. We therefore bless God who has allowed us to live to see this joyous day. And so we say, Baruch atah melech haolam, shechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We'll now proceed with the lighting of the Chanukiah of the menorah. I will light the shamash, the top light, and then the President's grandchildren will kindle the first light, heralding symbolically the upcoming first night of Hanukkah. As soon as the President's grandchildren light this light, please join me in singing the first stanza of one of the most beloved of Hanukkah songs, which is Ma'oz Tzur. And I mean, please join me, because we do not want to subject the President and the First Lady to my own singing. So all those who know, please join me. I will light the shamash. And then you take the candle. Great. Just there you go. You got it. Great. Do you want to help your sister? Excellent. Light it right there. You got it. Ma'oz tzur Yeshuati lechana elishabeach tikon beit tefilati. Great job. Toda mizareach le'etachim. Great job. Mitzor ha'naveach azek mor b'shir mizmor Chanukah tamizbeach azek mor b'shir mizmor Chanukah tamizbeach. Happy Hanukkah.